Hi there, welcome to Lingobez. I'm Laura and I'd like you to have a look at these words. What do they all have in common? Correct, they are modal verbs. Many of my students get confused about how to use them, their form, and when to use them, their meaning. Well, today I'm going to give you a hand with that to help you use them easily and effectively. Modal verbs are very wide and have many different functions. We use them to talk about permission, possibility, deduction, obligation, and many others. But today's lesson is going to focus on how we use modal verbs to talk about ability. That is how able we are to do something. I can't do this.
1 week later.
I can do this. Now, because there are so many different situations involving modal verbs, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed and confused with so much information today, I'm going to record other lessons covering all those different functions that modal verbs have. So, if you are not a subscriber yet, and we've realized that many of you watching these videos are not subscribers yet, what are you waiting for? Click the red button down there, subscribe to this channel, and that way you'll find out when those new videos are ready for you. And remember as well that we have our social media, where you can find stories, daily content, games, and much more. To express ability in English, we must use these modal verbs. And it's very important to know that modal verbs never appear alone. They are auxiliary verbs accompanying a main verb. And that main verb is the important verb in the sentence. Now watch out, because the main verb appears in a bare infinitive form. That is an infinitive without to. For example, I can sing very well. She can't cook Asian food. They could dance salsa. And you couldn't run as fast as me. Sing, cook, dance, and run are the main verbs, and they use the bare infinitive. Can and can't are the modal verbs we use to talk about ability in the present. So when we want to say that we have a particular skill or even a talent, and then it's possible for us to do something, we use can. For example, I can speak different languages. She can play the piano. They can run very fast. As you can see, we use the same form. It doesn't matter what the subject is, I, she, they, because modal verbs, and this applies to all of them, don't change form. We always use the same. This is amazing, right? To indicate that we don't have an ability or a skill, and therefore we are not able to do something, we use the modal verb can in the negative, which is can't. I can speak different languages, but I can't speak Russian. I'd like you to pay attention to the stress in each case. I can speak different languages, but I can't speak Russian. As you can see, when the sentence is positive, it is the main verb, the word that gets the stress. But when the sentence is negative, it is the modal verb can't, the one getting the stress. Let's practice a bit more. She can play the piano, but she can't play the violin. They can run very fast, but they can't jump very high. Can you see? And finally, let's have a look now at questions. When we ask questions with modal verbs, we have a very simple technique. We have to identify the subject, the modal verb, and swap positions. So these questions would be, can you speak different languages? Can you play the piano? And can you run very fast? I'm very interested in knowing a little bit more about you, so please send me your answers in the comments below. And what about the past? Well, to talk about an ability or skill in the past, we use the modal verb could. Now watch out your pronunciation, because we don't pronounce the O and the L. Could. Could. For example, when I was a child, I could do backflips in the swimming pool. My brother could draw when he was 4 years old. And all my friends could ride a bicycle. To say that we were not able to do something in the past because we didn't have that ability, we use could in the negative, which is couldn't. Now, remember what we said before about stress, okay? When the sentence is positive, the main verb gets the stress. When the sentence is negative, now it'll be couldn't the one getting the stress, okay? So I could do backflips in the pool, but I couldn't do them on the ground. Too dangerous. I would have broken my skull. My brother could draw when he was 4 years old, but he couldn't write. And my friends could ride a bicycle, but they couldn't ride a motorcycle. And for questions, we'll do the same thing we did before. We have to identify the modal verb, could, and the subject, and swap positions. So, could you do a backflip when you were a child? Could you ride when you were 4 years old? And could you ride a bicycle? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, what happens if we want to talk about ability in any verb tense? Not only in the present and past, but what about future? Or what about any perfect tense? Well, to do that, we can use an equivalent phrase. And this equivalent phrase is be able to. Now, notice that when we use the expression be able to, we need to conjugate the verb to be to create the verb tense that we would like to use. For example, you will be able to speak in English very well soon. I have been able to solve the problem. And they were able to dance all night long. Okay? We conjugate the verb to be. Don't forget that. And for the negative, let's conjugate the verb to be in the negative form. For example, you won't be able to speak in English very well soon if you don't practice your conversation. And to do that, have a look at this video I have over here, key sentences to start a conversation in English. Or, I haven't been able to solve the problem. I didn't have enough time. Or finally, they were not able to dance all night long because they were wearing high heels. And that's really uncomfortable, believe me. And for questions, we swap positions again. So, will you be able to speak in English soon enough? Have we been able to help you with this lesson? Were you able to dance all night long the last time you were wearing uncomfortable shoes? Help me to get to know you a bit better by sharing this information with me in the comments below. So there you are, all the secrets regarding how to talk about ability in different verb tenses. Remember that in the next lessons I'll be sharing with you information about how to use modal verbs in different situations, so keep an eye on your notifications. And to put all this into practice, join us in our conversation club, Talksmate. Remember, the languages are to be used, and what better way than sharing your ideas with English speakers from all over the world? It's an amazing experience that you cannot miss, so I'll see you there. Check the link in the description box. In the meantime, keep practicing your English with these 2 lessons I'm leaving here for you. I'll see you very soon with new videos. Thanks for being with me today, and remember, practice this, enjoy it, and share it.